Hello, everyone. Thank you for staying strong with me these last couple weeks. I know there was holidays and things like that in the new year, and I've been trying to make some goals and set some things up so that we can be more successful on my channel. And I appreciate everybody who subscribed, and I'm going to be making some more videos. So I appreciate everyone waiting. I also have a Facebook page. It's Miss Poly Wright. So it's MZPOLY and then space POLYRIGHT. So I want everybody to know we're going to do a little bit of intro here. So we usually, if you guys are interested in, we have our poly shirts here. All right. These are things I'm advertising for a sale. $27 or about $25 will get you a shirt. Depending on the size, we can make bigger sizes if you need to, like up to 6'8", 6X and such like that. This one's really cool. It has little chest pieces and a heart. I also have a couple other ones, but I don't have them right now. But so this is my Poly Life, Poly Right. You're only as strong as your foundation, and it has the man and 2 women. I have one that's a woman and 3 men. That usually represents myself, of course, but we have those available too. And if you guys have anything you like, we can kind of custom make those too. Shirts for you to say things and whatever fits best for you and your little pod, whatever that may be. So I appreciate that. Thank you for subscribing. If you have not done so, go and subscribe, and that way you can get notifications about when I stream. And so I'm excited for any new subscribers. It's awesome to see you here, and I'm going to be making it more of an effort to do at least once a week a video. So at least 4 times a month, and then maybe some more in between. And then what we do here in my channel, we kind of talk about being poly, but we really cater to more of relationships and life coaching, talking about how to make relationships better and stronger, and how to work on ourselves to be in relationships that are going to be really successful. So we want to talk about those things here, and if you guys have topics, put that in the comments below, and we'll bring those up in other videos. So feel free to do that. But today the topic I would like to talk about would be a poly situation. Usually, when people hear poly, they think of equal. Everything's equal. It's equal love, equal everything. And I'm gonna tell you, I don't believe that in all aspects. Now, if you're thinking of, do I have the same amount of love or kind of love for everyone? That may be very true. You may not have a particular favorite or whatever, but in general, at certain times of your life, you like hanging out with certain people, you like being around a certain atmosphere, different times of your life, and things like that. And what it all comes down to, what we were in, our topic was, being poly doesn't always mean being equal, and that's okay. I think people get stressed out about the word equal, and a lot of our partners want to be like, not all poly people, but if you're dating monogamous, which I tend to do a lot, being polyandry, is that a lot of people tend to want to say, okay, well, I know I'm dating someone who's poly, and this is going to be a new situation for me. Since they date other men, can I go date other women? And you're like, okay. And the first thing I say, and it may, some people say it sounds selfish, but it's really not. I'm being very unselfish, is, okay, so why are you looking for other people? And I'm not saying that because I don't want you to look for other people. My question is, what's your intention? Is your intention to really just try to go out and be with someone else so that you can feel that me being poly and wanting to share that love with another person, and you don't have those same feelings to go share love with another person? You just want to feel equal. So, I'll do it because she gets to do it. And then, so you're not really putting any real emotion into the person that you're being with, or you're not giving that person anything. You're just having this sexual experience, and a lot of it's detached. Then that, to me, is you trying to be open on your end. And if that's not something that we discussed, then that's really not, something I think you should do. You got to realize there are people on the other side of this relationship. So just because I'm with someone else and you've maybe found a girl who's okay, sooner or later she might get feelings and you have no attachment to them. You're not making a good relationship. You're not making a good connection. That's something that I'm against. I'm against. So I always ask, what is your true intention? Is your intention to have a sexual experience with this person? Is your intention to make them a person that you're interested in dating? And then that changes my dynamic with you. As a polyandry person, so I identify as polyandry, number one. But a lot of times I've considered being in different dynamics. And what I mean by that is, just to clarify, because I know not everyone knows these dynamics. There are dynamics where there is, polyamorous dynamics where there's two women, one man, and they're all in one relationship. There's usually a tripod. Or sometimes they will be platonic, which could be kind of then in turn into a polygamous situation. Usually there is a head of this group. And I have my whiteboard, but we don't have it right now. So we're going to show you a little picture. So usually you'll have, we'll use this paper. That's good. It'll show. So, you'll have your main, there's a person, if you're dating monogamous, this applies. You have your poly person. Okay. Your poly person is going to go seek out more than one partner. Okay. So she might have, or he may have one partner, and then he may talk to another partner. And so he'll have two partners here. And then he doesn't necessarily, or she doesn't necessarily want, them to date each other. They don't have to. But if they end up all dating, it's kind of like a tripod. But if these two people don't interact with each other, usually there is going to be that joint. As you can see, like a little joint. They're the joint. They're the reason why you two are connected. Because you're not connected through any other means than that person right here. Right? So this is the person that a lot of people say is the head. You're leading the group. Okay? I don't really, so as a polyandry person, a lot of times people think of it as, okay, your woman's the head, she's leading. A lot of polygamous men will think that too, and they say, women can't lead. Whatever. But if you're that, you technically are. You're kind of setting the structure for everyone else. So you got to really know what you want, because these other people, your partners, are looking to you to see what you want to do. Because sometimes in a polyandry situation and you're dating monogamous men or you're dating someone who doesn't really want to date outside of themselves, you're really just dating them. You are kind of setting what the rules and the policies and things like that. And yes, you want your partners to be part of that process. But when it comes down to it, if you're the only one seeking out other partners, then you need to establish the rules you want for your group. And that's what I said. If you don't really want your partner seeking out other partners for whatever reason, you need to clarify that with them and see if they're okay with that. Remember, poly is everyone in agreement of what you're doing. When we start going outside of that, this is the thing. We all want to poly right. We all want to do our relationships right, regardless if it's monogamous or poly or open. And we all make mistakes. Okay. So maybe you go outside your rule and you break a rule. You want to come to your pod and tell them what you've done. You want to clear that up and clarify that you're human. You make mistakes. And that's okay. And that goes for your partners too. I allow, in my particular situation, I have partners who I do hope that just stay with me. They do. I do. And there are some that may want to have an experience. That is something that we talk about as a group. And when I say a group, I do mean the other partner. Because if he wants to have a sexual experience with me and another person, that's affecting this one. Because he's like, okay, so y'all having experiences over there. He may want to have an experience on his own over here. So, you need to kind of communicate those things that happen. Maybe your other partner's not really experimental. Maybe he's like, okay, well, what are you going to do when you're with this experience? Are you going to be there, or are you just letting him have an experience by himself? And and things like protection and things like that need to come. You really need to go over these situations prior to them happening. I know people are like, well, I don't want to talk about something until it happens. I get it, but if you lay down a little bit of a foundation, then it won't be a surprise when you want to do something or you're interested in something, because you already have something already kind of set up. Rules change, situations change, but a lot of people want to have a closed relationship. Closed relationship. When these two do not talk to anyone else, and you only talk to those two or three or whatever, that is a close relationship. You are closing off your relationship and you're just having them. So in a way, it's kind of like you're having a monogamous relationship, but just with more than one person, if that makes sense to you. So that's really interesting. People think of it like, oh, well, you're a poly, so you're always looking. No, a lot of poly people, after a while, they want to have long-term partners that they stay with and they build something with. And that's a lot of people's goals. And so you have to really think about that. What am I looking for? Long term, short term, and it's okay to be short term. We've talked about that before. Even and if not on YouTube, on my live, I do stream on live and tagged, and on Facebook, and so I try to talk about different things and situations, and I may have brought that up that long term and short term partners, it's okay. Somebody may be okay for your life at that time, and then whatever situation changes it, they may not be the greatest partner for that moment in your life. And those things are okay. I think people need to really get out of their head that if not everyone's long term, not everyone's going to be the person you marry. But you may not want to lose out on that experience with them, the learning experience of, just dating and meeting people. I've learned so much, and it had such an eye-opening experience with these people. And it doesn't have to be always sexual. I've been platonic with men and not anything sexual with them for long periods of time, and just been friends with them. And I've gained lots of knowledge, and I've gained people and friends and relationships that have helped me in the future or can help me in the future. And so, think about the positive things that people can bring to your life, not necessarily, they're just getting sex from you. I mean, people do want to be sexual. I understand that. But there are other things about people that are, really important and special. I do believe that, God's made us as a special people, and you're special and you're unique in your own way. And there's something about you that is going to touch someone. And, not necessarily being poly, but just being in general and being open to conversation and interacting with people and making positive relationships also can bring you lots of joy to your life. So I wanted to make that video today about that. And I'll keep going here. Let's hit another few points here. So in the dynamics we were talking about, the male, female, male, which is the polyandry. I noticed that a lot of good times, if I'm dating, a lot of guys are like, well, I'm going to benefit from her dating because then she may date a woman, or I can date a woman, and then we could all be together. So they'll try to have their own pod. And I try to explain to them, unless you're poly, it's different. If I'm the polyandry and you're getting with me, and you think I'm going to go with a woman, I truthfully, and I am in between this, I'm more platonic with women. Not saying I wouldn't have an experience with a woman, I am more platonic. So at the end of the day, okay, you're asking me to build a relationship with someone who may want a real relationship with me on those levels, and maybe they want more than what I'm able to offer, and then you're with them. So you're asking me to actually involve myself in another relationship with someone else, and that's different. So guys who think, oh yeah, well, I'll just have my own girlfriend, or she'll have a girlfriend, and then we'll get together. That doesn't always work, because not everyone who's poly is bisexual. And not everyone that is poly, is going to be okay with being more than just a sexual partner. They may just want to be sexual with a woman and not necessarily have any mental connection. You got to really talk about those things. And that's where communication is so important with poly people. You know what I'm saying? We're all so excited. Poly people, communication is so important. And we really got to stress how people have to communicate with each other just on a daily basis. You think you know your partner. But a lot of people I know, so you think you know your partner, and then one day they'll be like, "Oh, I didn't really know you were into that," or "I didn't really know you cared about that." People change throughout their lives. In your 20s, you may be really hyped on this. In your 30s, you may be really hyped on this. Transitions. People take transitions in their life. Things are important to them for 5 years and not anymore. When we learn and experience things, our views change, and we might have a different mindset. So definitely, don't put your partner in a box. Don't put them. Let them, express themselves. Let them venture out. Let them enjoy life. So then, when they bring back those wonderful things, they're bringing back something that you can learn from and you can experience from too. And sharing those experiences with you is amazing. So remember, communication is very important to every friggin' relationship, monogamous, whatever. I think people who are monogamous, the best way is to communicate, because in monogamy, you're taught not to really communicate to that extent. And people think that's, oh, that's not true. We always talk about communication. No, you're not. You're told to tell your partner lies, to make them happy, to be quiet when you're not happy, because that's supposed to make them happy. And I do think in some situations you need to know your partner. Know when to shut the fuck up. Know when to allow your partner to enjoy something, even though sometimes it may not be joyful to you. Yeah, those are things that are a little bit about sacrifice in a relationship in general. But just being like upset all the time or unhappy all the time, killing your inner soul, is not something that we want to, promote. So definitely, it doesn't matter if you're monogamous or not. Communication. Share with your partner, and then so we're gonna make another video about communication, and what are some ways to communicate. And I'm gonna give you guys some examples. And I wanted to do maybe a stream on this one of how to communicate. I'll do a stream and have people come in my room and we talk about effective communication. And then when I'm streaming, you know how I have guys and women talk to me in my stream, and then I can post that and then you guys can see it. So for now, those are just my just little pointers on being poly and how I don't think it's always equal. Okay, we can always get in depth more about it another time. But definitely, I think poly, another point I want to point out here, I wanted to do a shorter video this time. But, in it not being equal, and it being okay. Sometimes your one partner might need is really busy in their life right now. They go to school, they go to work, they haven't got time to really see you. You may not see that partner as much as you see another partner who's not working right now because of COVID and they're chilling or whatever. So if you're seeing the other partner more and you're connecting with them more and you're having a good experience with them more, and the other one you don't see that much, but you still have a great time with when you do, their relationship is not equal, as you can clearly tell at that time. And so just because they're not equal does not mean they're not valued. That makes sense to you. Okay, so just because I don't see him every friggin' day does not mean I don't want to see him and I don't desire to see him, or he's not worth my time. It's just that this situation is just changed. We don't get to see each other as much, and what they still offer me is worth being with them. It's not going to say that, oh, I like him better, I spend more time with him. He just has more time available. So I think, people try to put these values on things, and sometimes you can't do that with everything because everyone has different situations and things like that. So poly does not always mean equal, but not being equal doesn't mean it's bad. Okay? And that's something that we have to work on. I think people are like, well, if they're not giving you everything, then that's horrible. Now, listen. Half of y'all don't give everything to half the shit y'all do in life. Y'all give your job 75%. You know what I'm saying? You wash the clothes at 25%. Don't do that. You don't do that. We're all people. We all have struggles. We all are falling short somewhere. You don't have to, be perfect to be with someone. And just know that. So I appreciate you guys. I don't want to run over too long. 20 minutes, give you that. Remember, I'm on Tag. I stream on Tag and Facebook. I'm probably going to do another video here shortly. And we're going to talk about some tips and some more tips about dating, since I've been dating lately. And so we're gonna have a really good time having that communication and talk about how we can build really good foundations while we're dating, and give you guys something to look forward to. Okay, so you guys have a good day, and thank you for checking in with me. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.